Hey, what is going on, everybody? So today I'm going to talk about my downpipe. I've had my downpipe installed since about August, I think, and I've been loving every minute of it. Before I had my downpipe, I had a muffler delete because I wanted to increase some of the exhaust notes of the car, but it wasn't quite there. It wasn't quite enough to tickle my pickle. But with this downpipe installed and then the muffler delete added, it's everything I wanted and then some. I'm rocking the Circuit Werks V2 downpipe. And apparently in the V2 they fixed everything that was wrong in the V1. For example, the V1 was like a two-piece downpipe, whereas the V2 is just one single piece downpipe, which is how it should have been in the first place. But apparently they never sold the V2 separately. They only sold it in a whole turbo back exhaust. And the reason I only have the downpipe is because I got it from a guy who got it from another guy that bought the turbo back but only wanted from the cat back exhaust parts and didn't want the downpipe. When I was first looking at downpipes, of course I was looking at the very popular ones, APR, CTS Turbo, but the reason I got this in the end was because the person that was selling it, he's a close friend of mine. He got rid of his MK7 GTI and was getting an S3, and those downpipes don't match up, and he gave me a super great deal on it. And then he also told me that on his 2016 MK7 GTI for 10k miles, he never had a check engine light with the spacer. So I was like, say less, this is the perfect downpipe, and he gave me a super great deal, so I couldn't say no. When I first installed it, I didn't get a check engine light on it immediately, but after about 100 or so miles, a check engine light came on, sadly. So I was kind of upset because we had the same car, but now I do realize that even though it's the same car, it's not the same car. So yeah, even with the spacer, a check engine light came on, but now I don't have a check engine light. Oddly enough, I only had the check engine light during the hot summer days. Ever since it got colder, like at the start of November, the check engine light was just gone. I turned on my car one day and it was just not there, and I'm super happy about it now. And hopefully it stays off until I can get my inspection in a couple of months. So I don't have to go through the trouble of putting on my stock downpipe, running through its cycle to have it ready for inspection, and then taking off the stock downpipe again just to reinstall the Circuit Werks downpipe, and then having to do that every single year. So hopefully, because it's colder, the air is denser and I don't have a check engine light. So who knows? Fingers crossed. So let's go into actually talking about the downpipe. First things first, installing Fitment. When I was helping my friend install it, more like he did most of the work and I was just there to tell jokes. But anyways, my friend was telling me how the Fitment was perfect. It was A1. He and I didn't run into like any Fitment issues. No jerry rigging of anything. We didn't have to wrench anything down forcibly. No compromise at all, which definitely is an improvement over the V1, because I was reading how some people were having Fitment issues with the V1 version and they kind of just had to forcibly wrench it down, and hopefully it stayed. So performance, did the downpipe increase performance? I want to say a bit. I only have a JB4 in my car, so it was never that fast in the first place, but after the downpipe install, it felt like the boost kind of kicked harder than it did with the stock downpipe. And even if there wasn't like a noticeable like dyno figures improvement from the downpipe, I want to say it definitely did, the very least, kind of optimizes its current performance. It kind of opened up all the channels and allowed air to flow and everything else to kind of move and deliver its power to the wheels more effectively. It did feel like everything was kind of hitting harder than it did with the stock downpipe. In terms of sound, I definitely love the way it sounds right now, even though to some people it sounds like a fucking tractor. So I'm rocking a catalyst downpipe. I still have my resonator on, but a muffler delete. And when I just had my muffler delete with the stock downpipe, anything above 3k, when boost kicked in, that's when it would actually get loud. But now with the catalyst downpipe, anything above 2k RPM, it would just be fucking loud and fucking obnoxious. On the highway, anything above like 70 miles per hour, there'd be so much drone. I don't mind it personally, but my passengers, they hate it. Can't even have a decent conversation on the highway at 70 miles per hour. But anything below like 60 miles per hour, 6th gear, it sounds fine and it's manageable. Just when I'm getting on it, anything above 2k RPM, fucking loud. above 70 miles per hour in 6th gear, fucking drone. But during decelerations, there's definitely way more prominent burps and pops and bangs. And DSG farts are no longer DSG farts. It sounds more like DSG fucking diarrhea from Taco Bell with Diablo sauce. And at the end of this video, I will put like a bunch of sound clips that I recorded. I put a lavalier mic next to my rear license plate, and then my camera sensitivity, my A7 III, the sound sensitivity was set to like 1, and even then, there were a lot of parts that were distorted. For example, when I'm getting on boost or when it's just downshifting and like revving to high RPM, there's a lot of distortion, and the camera didn't even pick it up. And honestly, if that didn't pick it up, then I honestly don't think anything else could pick it up. So the best way to hear an actual sound of a catalyst downpipe, muffler delete, or any exhaust sound in general is in person. Like, I know a lot of you ask for like video sound clips, and honestly they won't do it justice. Like, the best thing to do is just find someone with a similar setup and hear it in person. My only dislike about it is on cold days when I'm moving from a stop, there's like creaking from the downpipe area, which I assume is kind of like the metal creaking, the pipe flexing, and I'm not too concerned about it. I haven't jacked up the car yet to check what it is, but I don't think it's nothing too serious. But yeah, other than that, that's my only dislike about it. To purchase one, I honestly don't even know where someone could purchase one new, because I got it secondhand, and then all the people that I know said they bought it from like a vendor in the Mark 7 Facebook group. So and I couldn't even find like this official like Circuit Werks website. I found like their Facebook page. I'll link below, and maybe you can message them and then they'll take like PayPal or something. To wrap it up, I do recommend this downpipe, especially for the price. My friend Harry has had his Circuit Werks version 1 on his GTI for like 3-4 years now, around 75k miles, IS38 APR tune, and he haven't had any crazy major issues with it. The only problem he tells me is that it rattles sometimes, and it's kind of annoying, but other than that, he's not too worried about it. And if Harry isn't worried about it, then I don't see any reason why you should be either. But yeah, for the price, I would say it's pretty decent. I know used is like sub 200 bucks. So if you need something cheap to go stage 2, or if you want something like quick for noise, I would say this is like the bare minimum to go. You know, I would still recommend this over like some random eBay downpipe, because at least with a Circuit Werks downpipe, it's backed up by a company, and you get the customer support, and you know other people have tried it, and it's like a legit company. So I would say this is like the bare minimum. And of course there are better options out there, but you know, it depends on how much money you want to spend. You know, you could pay $1,000 for just a piece of metal for the AWE one, and you don't get check engine light. But you know, not everyone is fucking not everyone has a money tree in their backyard. So yeah, that wraps up this video. Of course, as always, comments are welcome. DM me, leave them below or whatever, and I'll try my best to answer them. And oh yeah, and after this like scene or whatever this is, I will include the sound clip, so if you want to stick around for that. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one.